going on, peoples? What is up? What is up? What is up? Hope y'all can hear me. I think everything is hitting on all cylinders today. Got the trains running around. All my paraphernalia seems to be working right. And I stole my girlfriend's Harry Potter cup. Hope everybody's doing all right. What's up, Michelle? So, not a whole lot of new things going on. Just a few new things, I guess. Cool. Appreciate you, Walter. Everything is sounding good. So I tattooed a good friend of mine, Eddie. I'm not sure if he's watching or not, but I wanted to do some stuff for the tiers, and I know I've been saying it, but I think I really just want to focus on Patreon and one, following through on the stuff that I said I would do, and two, just I added another tier. Well, I altered it a little bit, and so there's a $50 tier, and with that, if you stay on that for a year, there's only like maybe 5 of them, maybe 10 of them, but if you stay on that for a year, I will give you one of the models that I make. I think most of you have seen it or seen them. I have a few I need to deliver off the bat. There's just some people that have been supporting me for a long time, so I want to give them something. And then, like I said, it's maybe 5 or 10 tiers of that. And you also get a Space Marine, custom painted Space Marine, right off the rip when you do the $50 one. So with all that said, I've been really poking around in Patreon and seeing, what updates they had and all that stuff like that. So I just want to really ramp that up, because the whole thing of me doing the Tuesday live was mainly for me. I appreciate y'all supporting me and being here and stuff, but it was mainly for me to one, see if I was going to stick with it. There's stuff happens in life where you just don't come on or whatever, but for the most part, I think I've been doing this for almost 2 years now. And I just think it's, time to grow, move to the next level, or stay where I'm at, which is not ever a really good thing for anyone, but or just don't do it. So I want to do more with Patreon. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do more. So be on the lookout for more updates and more. I think you guys get emails when I do updates or whatever, because I get emails for the people that I support on Patreon. So but just a thank you for all y'all that have continued and still support, man. It's very humbling for people to support you on what you love to do. So thank you. Cool. So with that said, I guess we can get into I am going to just draw a profile of the Bride of Frankenstein. I am going to start something on Michelle this Saturday. I don't know if it'll be her first, but I'm doing a horror sleeve on her leg, so should be pretty fun. And so I got my reference over here, sketchbook, pencil, and we will get started. I chose this one because a friend of mine, I guess he's got an album of The Bride of Frankenstein, the old one. And whoever the artist was on this album cover, I mean, it's just a really good picture of her. And there's a lot of negative space. And I love that stuff, so. I think I'll write bride here or something. I don't know. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit. Too much. And so I'm just starting with an oval, and then her chin's kind of here, jawline. Stuff that you guys see me do numerous of times. And I'm just shaping stuff out. So her ear. And if I look at the reference, her eye, and here I am drawing these imaginary lines that I see in my head. Her eye is pretty much even with her ear. Her nose is just, the bottom of her nose is a little under the ear, and her mouth, and then chin. And yes, you have some different stuff happening here and there, but this is the basic of it. Oh, my bad. So I got her ear over here, a line for the eye, line for the nose, line for the mouth. Yeah, me too. I'm excited too. Well, how's everybody doing? I hope y'all doing all right. Like I said, ain't too much new for me. Just tattooing, working, you know. Trying to make $1 out of 15 cents sometimes, but you know. Matter of fact, I think I'm gonna try and find this movie and watch it tonight, just for GP. Eyes are set back into the head if you're looking at the profile view. So you got the bridge of the nose up here and the eyes. So, you know, the head is round like that. And so if you look at it from the side, the eyes are pushed back like here. And then I'm just guesstimating right now from the eyeball to the bridge of the nose, how far that is. It could change, but I'm gonna just put what I think is the right distance for right now. And also you can start putting lines down this way too, right? So if I'm happy with how this distance is with the eyeball and all that stuff, I can do an imaginary line come straight down. And then I can look at my reference and like, oh, the nostril, the end of the nostril is almost on that line right there. It looks like it might be up just a little bit, but this is just a good reference, right? So we got a long line coming down that way, and her nostril is on that line with the eyeball. And if we come down some more with that same line, I can look and be like, okay, her upper lip kind of starts, and there's a I don't know, a decent amount of space in between there to where her lips start. And then we can start fleshing out. Again, I'm drawing really light. Lips tend to slant like this. So we can take from her nose and tip all that like that. I hope y'all can see that. It looks like you can see it. And so you kind of start, and I think this is either Jack Kirby or Lumos or somebody started this type of referencing where you do the slant and all the lines and all that stuff so you can have the right distance of what you're trying to accomplish. And so all this is being drawn kind of light, right? So I can, if there's some mistakes or things that need to be redone. And I like what I got here, but if I take her mouth and push it all the way up with this line right here, do another imaginary line, on my reference, something's not right. This eye, the eyeball, is one, it's a little too big and it's too far forward. So stuff is too far this way. But I do like what I have here. So now I will just, because I've drawn so light and holding the pencil kind of back, I can make some adjustments here. So I'm gonna make her nose a little smaller. I'm gonna bring the bridge in a little more so I can push this eyeball back some. She's got a shadow under here. Her nostril starts messing around here. And so she's got some really heavy shadows happening here. Stuff coming out like that. I like the lips, because her lips on here aren't that big either, so I like all this. And so now, again, I'm just moving stuff around a little bit. Her eyebrows right there. And so since I moved the bridge and this part back some, I need to move this eyeball back. And so if I sketch out a little bit of that shadow, There we go. Bring this eyeball back some. Actually, I'm gonna bring it back a hair more. And if I'm looking right, there's a line that comes up right here. Just some shading and stuff. And if we bring that out, the bottom lid. Now we cooking with Crisco. Upper lid, some eyelashes happening. Got some eyelashes popping out here. Eyebrow. And we got some shade and stuff happening here. And she's got that awesome streak, but I think they have the picture is pretty dope. They have her laying on the bed like she's getting ready to come alive in that streak. Just a really good picture of this. Chin comes down a little bit and it fades away. All right, cool. So I think if I sketch that in just a little bit. And then she's got her wave stuff happening. Cool, cool. So I think if I zoom out just a bit, bring this down some. So I have what I need as far as a template and where I need to go with this piece. Let's see. I'll zoom in on her face some. Make sure I got her lips right. And that was a little fade, so it's a heavy shadow under here, under her bottom lip that connects her chin. And so I just done some cross hatching. There was really no need to do any serious type of shading or anything. got this really cool thick outline right at the top of her, the rim of her lip.
YouTube Music has updated playlists. Get song suggestions that match your playlist vibe, and collaborate with other tastemakers. You can discover more music with our ready-made playlists and more. Explore YouTube Music today.
She's got a little highlight right there. I'm gonna pull in some. And right now I'm kind of just, again, feeling around. Some stuff I may go really hard because I kind of like exactly where it's at. And a lot of this stuff I am still, I guess in a sense, filling it out. So I'm just doing some shading back and forth, some cross hatching. I think that's why I like doing black and gray tattoos more than color, I guess. I just like shading in general. But I am developing some sick sort of pleasure with color tattoos. Well, I have not seen anything really worth talking about. I think I'm kind of just waiting on Loki now. And then we have some lips. Hey, very cool shading. Appreciate you, man. We have been, oh yeah, the Bad Batch is just some really good storytelling. There's no other way to describe that but good storytelling. I think me and Eddie were talking about it the other day. I like how they just started right in at Order 66. She's got some shade happening on her nose. Comes out like that.
For personal guide to the world of country music, sign up for YouTube Music Premium over $1
Let's see, she's got a little bit happening here. Very light touch. Not as dark as some of this other stuff. And then so for like this, I'll kind of just start really light. So I know it fades off here. And then I'll just build it up with another direction. Until I think I'm happy with where everything is sitting. It's really a dark shadow too, so then I'll just go in heavy. And then once I get to where it's starting to fade, where I think it should fade, I'll lighten up on the pressure. And just make sure it's a nice blend. Eyeball. I'm gonna actually pull this back just a little bit. So again, I drew light, and I see that I want to pull this, the corner of the eye back a little further. And because I drew it light, you can't tell that there's a quote unquote mistake or that I'm not pleased with it. And you know, that's my job as an artist, to make you think that there's no mistakes here. I make them all the time. Put a little shine right there. Because when it's drawn really light, a lot of the shading and shadows and stuff that I do will cover that. Mitchell's versus the Machines. I hadn't seen that. Have you seen the new Love, Sex, and Robots? So it wasn't as good as the first series, but it was definitely worth the watch. I think for me, anything animation, I'll probably watch it. Then I can pull this one back some. Doug the Pug. All right, cool. Is it on Netflix? Got some eyelashes poking up through here. She's got another part of her lid that's opened up here. And so now there's some stuff happening here. It fades off like right here. I think these are shadows that are casted by these eyelashes, but it's kind of dark in here, but it's dark all around here, and then it fades out, and then there's another fade here. So how I'm going to approach that is, I know it's already dark in here, so I can kind of go dark as I want. But here, I'm gonna just mess with it. I'm gonna do really light. I'm gonna do light this way. And so at this point, I'm just blocking in the shadows. And they fade out kind of out right here. And then this one, there's some shadow and shading happening, but all right, cool, I got it. Okay, cool, Netflix on the list. Actually, let me write that down. Mitchell's versus the Machine. So this shadow here against the bottom, so her eyeball is probably this big. Eyeballs are pretty big. And so there's a shadow that's being cast, and then this part of the lid / eyeball is catching the other light. So all this is dark in here. I've come to grips that I'm happy with what it looks like, so now I can kind of go in a little darker here. To help smooth it out, I'll just go back and forth on different angles or cross hatching. And then I'll stop to a point where I know it's going to start fading out. Kind of, there's another little thing happening here. And so now I will just keep going over and over until this blends with a nice fade out to out here. I'll do some circular motions. I'll do some different cross hatching directions. Until it blends out. Yes, YouTube, I am still watching or listening. And then for this, I'll go over it just a little bit, but there's just a little darkness right up under this area. Well, a little darker shading, if you will. It's a hard line under there too. Boom, boom, boom. So even with this, now I know I want the fade to kind of fade out this way. And I'll just do the same thing, just some circular motions. Until it just fades out to nothing. And as I'm doing this, I am coming off of the pressure of the pencil. So I know here is really dark and I'm okay with that. And I'll jump back in this and start really hard again and then just fade out. Come back in here, start hard and fade out again. I think from one of these shadows, her eyebrows start. Just got And so now when I'm adding all these other little things like her eyebrows and eyelashes, I'm still taking mental notes of the distance between here and here. Like I said, where the beginning of her brow started, like what eyelash was actually closest to that. And I think I talked about it before. I don't know if I talked about it last week or the week before, but that's how you stay in proportion with things, right? So I'm looking at how big her eye is, how big this eyelash is, how much does it come out? Do I want to add more length on my own to make it longer or whatever? But the basic is still the same. The basics is still the same. You want to use reference of the other things you've drawn already to keep everything in proportion. Like this eyebrow, I made it a little longer. And that's just me taking liberties. And so even with this one, right, if I have the center of this eyebrow and I draw a straight line over, where's the other eyebrow end up? How much space is in between? How much space is in between this eyebrow and the edge of her forehead? So as I'm looking, this eyebrow is up just a hair, or maybe a little more. And then there's, I don't know the exact distance that is because it's a side shot and there's shadows happening. But as I'm looking at the reference, I feel like that's a decent amount of space in between there. So I look at everything when I'm drawing. How much space is in between? Where are these eyelashes? So these eyelashes, like where do they line up if I drew a straight line through this eyeball? And they look like they're up a little bit. So they're not totally in the middle, but if I draw a line going straight through that eyeball, I know I can push these eyelashes up a little bit. I hope that made sense. Felt like I was just rambling. And then there is a little shade or shadow coming from here. I'll just rub that in real quick. The new tattoo looks really... What new tattoo? Oh, the one on my neck? If that's what you're talking about, thank you. Go stand there. Well, thank you. Appreciate it. And I don't know if that's exactly what I'm going for, but we want her to look like something. And she's got another piece of something happening here. I don't know if I want to go too much darker. And so for me, it's like tattooing. I can always go really light and then add darkness. It's really difficult to go back the other way. And then for me, I always add a really thick line around my art. I don't know why. I don't know where I picked that up from, but it's almost a trademark. then she has, so this is kind of shaded in too. Man, there's so much, actually a lot more detail than I thought. So when I seen this picture, what immediately grabbed me was the heavy contrast of this side being shaded and this side there's nothing happening. But as I'm doing this, there's a lot of stuff happening just in this little section. That's what kind of drew me to this piece, was all this that's going on. And then just as I dig in deeper and deeper, there's a lot more happening than I wouldn't say anticipated, but and I'll mess around and keep this light too. I'm not going to make it really dark. I think it's kind of dark up here where her hairline starts meeting up here, but and then I do the circles to kind of blend out some of the cross hatching. Some of it, you'll still be able to see it, but that's what I'm kind of making circles for. And let's mess around with her ear. And again, here I'm drawing out the shapes of the shadows that I want. I'm drawing them really light. Some of them I can draw a little hard because I know it's going to be a hard shadow right there. And then here, we got this. I used to know what all these pieces were called of the ear. But I couldn't tell you at this point. And then the same here, I'll just start shading some stuff in here. And that's some of this stuff, like I really don't need to look at the reference. One, I've seen it enough to know what some of this stuff looks like already. Most ears, as far as artists are concerned, are the same. Unless it's like a alien or space creature or something like that. Most human ears are the same. And then I could just take free liberties. Like, I know all this is gonna be dark in here. I know I can add a little drop shadow right here from her hair. And I can either make this edge hard or soften it up some once I get up here and keep that edge hard. And then again, it's just, knowing how the ear is made. It folds kind of a nice, smooth, tapered off down into your eardrum area. And I can just blend that in like that. I think what I want to do is put a pearl on her. And so now I'm taking liberties again.
Why upgrade to YouTube Premium? It's ad-free. You never have to stop your how-tos to skip an ad. It has background fun, so whether you're working out to music or listening to a podcast, you sound like it's not playing through walking screen. And it has mobile downloads. You can keep learning and getting better even when you don't have Wi-Fi or data. Upgrade to YouTube Premium. Try 1 month free and watch uninterrupted.
And so that's pretty much all of what's happening with this picture. Now, her neck would probably come out somewhere around here, maybe back even a little further. Something like that. Because if I zoom out some, if I can. All right, cool. So if her neck was like here, because her head kind of would, if we were just looking at her skull, it would be something in this range. And so the neck obviously supports the head, and you would figure, you got the neck coming like that. Yeah, I love drawing ears. And hands and feet, obviously. I'm gonna grab my ruler here real quick and put one line there. Actually, I think I should make it the size of this ruler. Another line right there. Because I like the font that they use too to write this. Looks like some calligraphy type stuff. Let me see, what do I want to do? Do I want to keep it in here? No, we'll go out just a little bit. So I'm gonna go out past the line a little bit. Keep it like that. And we'll just use the bottom as the real guide, if you will. A little thing happening there. some funky stuff here and also here. A little circle thing happening. And the same when I'm doing letters. I got it, my two main guides here, but I have imaginary things happening in my brain. So have an imaginary line right here, and then I'm just looking like, okay, I'm gonna keep all the lowercase letters to about right here, the tops of them. For the D, because I think it's even with this stuff here, it's actually a little taller, so I can probably get away with this coming here. And I'm also looking at like keeping all these the same thickness too. Also trying to keep the same distance between where the closest stroke of that letter is. So not only am I trying to keep the same distance or the same thickness, I'm trying to keep the same distance. So this is the closest. This is the closest. So this could probably move over a little bit, but I'm not going to sweat it. This is the closest, and so on and so forth. If that makes sense. And the E looks like it comes up a little higher. Just a little bit though. I don't want to get carried away. Yeah, it looks like it's just basic calligraphy, just with some extra little doodads here and there. And I'm pretty much happy with, you know, what it's looking like. So we can go in a little darker. I think I'll just imply that there's some hair happening up here. And that she has that dashing streak. Just so we know it's the bride. And that's it, y'all. Boom. Done. Swoop. So yeah, I appreciate y'all, you know, hanging out all the time, chilling, drinking coffee. I do look forward to all these Tuesdays, just hanging out and chatting, running trains. I think next week I will. I've been starting another model, so I'll probably be doing that next week. Maybe some painting on it or something, or 40K something. I don't know. Because I got this really big. His name is Mortarion. And he is part of the Death Guard crew. So all those little guys that I've been painting, this is gonna be a very intense paint job. So I don't know, I may do some of this next week. I'll have most of it prepped anyway, so we don't have to watch paint dry, but I don't know, we'll see. But yeah, I appreciate y'all. Thank you, sir. Thank you. I'll see y'all next week and we'll see what we do. Appreciate y'all, man. Enjoy the rest of the week. And see you same bat time, bat channel. Peace. Boom, boom.